What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to About Trout. My name is James Garrettson. I guide here. But we're going to tie today. I'm going to tie a kind of a San Juan classic, just a red larva with tubing, red midge larva, a fly you can catch fish on 12 months of the year on the San Juan. And then we're going to tie an annelid. There's a bunch of different worm species that live on the San Juan, and this pig sticker variation is one of my favorites. You can tie it in a bunch of different colors. It's more of a style of tying as well as this midge larva we're going to tie. So without further ado, let's start tying. Alright, I got a Daiichi 1273 in the vise, and I'm using UTC 70 denier thread. I'm going to uncord that thread and just start about a half an eye length behind the eye. I'm going to spin that, let that uncord. I'm going to trim off the thread. I'm just going to wrap this thread right back to where the barb is. This is a Daiichi 1273 size 16. There we go. This time of year, the larvae are a little bit darker, more of a blood red from my stomach samples. I'm going to use brown micro tubing. It's important to use the brown micro tubing because it's hollow and it'll stretch, unlike the midge tubing. So I'm going to catch my micro tubing in my scissors. Let's see if you can see that. Like that. I'm just going to pull down. And what that's going to do is it's going to leave like a little hypodermic needle. It's going to leave a nice little tie-in point. I'm going to tie that in and advance my thread right back to where I started my thread wraps. You can use the rotary feature on this. I'm not going to. I'm going to pull on that first wrap, really get that seated, and then you can adjust tension. I don't really like the ribs to be too pronounced, but if you back off the tension as you crank it, you can make them more pronounced. You can count your wraps if you want to. I really haven't noticed a difference. And then right when we get to that bare part of the hook, I'm gonna drop my thread over, catch the thread with 2 wraps. Lift that up and trim. Build a little bit of a head right behind the eye. Whip finish, and we're almost done. We're just gonna add some Solarez Superfine. I'm sorry, Super Dry, Bone Dry, Solarez Bone Dry. Just gonna touch that so you can see the ribs pop through when I hit it with the light. And there you go. There's your midge larva right there. That brown rib just kind of helped darken up the overall color when we cook it with the resin. Now on to fly number 2. All right, we're gonna move on to the pig sticker. I have a Daiichi 1870 in the vise, and this whole fly is gonna be tied with Glow Brite shade number 3. Gonna put that right behind the eye and uncord the thread. So I'm gonna give it about 4 wraps right there behind the eye. Just give that a little trim. And now I got this Glow Brite uncorded. Some of the strands might flare out like that. You can just push them together with your finger. And I'm gonna try to make big touching wraps as I move past advanced to the back of the hook. And it's okay that it's flared out like that. Like I said, you can just get right in there with your finger. But the trick is touching wraps. As you tie it, you'll cord it back up, so you're gonna wanna continuously spin that thread to open it back up so it lays nice and wide like what we're doing, just big touching wraps. And I'm gonna wrap this just past the barb where the hook starts to bend. Now that I have that nice base, I'm gonna spin the thread clockwise to tighten that up, and we're gonna use this to make the rib. So the tighter it spins, or the tighter you wind it up, the more pronounced that rib is gonna be. And it will tighten as you wrap. And then I'm just gonna do wide wraps to create segmentation. Then right when I come back to the head, and don't worry about those little spots, we're gonna cover, those little spots where the brass of the hook sticks through, we're gonna cover it all with resin. Right where the head is, open the thread back up, then I'm gonna whip finish right behind the eye. 2-turn, 3-turn whip finish. Trim. And this is where the magic happens. We're going to use, again, Solarez Bone Dry. Glow Brite is not very durable, and it only takes a couple fish teeth to really get that ripped to shreds. You just want a real thin layer. You really want those ribs to poke through. If you really want those ribs to poke through. If you have any extra, just touch it with your finger. Just remember to wipe it off. And so now you can really see those ribs protruding through. Just touch it in the back. Then we're gonna hit it with the light. And you can tie this worm in a variety of different colors and different sizes, but this is a great one, great size to fish on the San Juan. All right, there you go. That's 2 awesome patterns to have in your fly box 12 months of the year. They'll work every day. Just believe it, conceive it, achieve it. But let me know if these patterns work out on the river for you, if you fished them before, if you've had success on these styles of flies outside of the San Juan, and if you'd like to see some more tying videos, let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. One love.